definitely.
I might have missed it, but how much is being said about what across the planet?
The conjunction and
The conjunction today and what it means in terms of this being the beginning of the age of Aquarius. So
Good news.
different ways of thinking about things, different ways of doing things. So 2020, as horrible as it's been, is in many ways therefore a gift, because it's the breaking down, the kind of destroying little by little of the old and the beginning of the new. But it's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's going to change overnight, but it's begun.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Jaentra, I really appreciated your email with the link to Pam Gregory, because it was so positive and hopeful, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt really right on in terms of things collapsing. So I appreciated the perspective that she brought, and I needed something hopeful. I just thought it was so kind of, in a way, reminded me to keep grounded and to remember that that really positive things are coming, but could be more difficult times, at least initially.
Keep your blinders on, she said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I too want to thank you for that link too. I had not listened to anything with Pam Gregory, and she's so easily to listen to and very knowledgeable. And I found it hopeful too, like you said, Karen, and just was very grateful that I could take part in that.
Yeah, if you look her up, in terms of astrology, she's incredibly well educated. She spent about 7 or 8 years, I think, going through various degree programs in London to get that expertise. So I like her from the Western side, and then I like Ananda Shri from the Vedic side of astrology. Those are the two that I tend to follow the most.
Yeah, if you like, I could share the link to Amanda Shri. I didn't share that link with them.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Ananda Shri, she usually does like a 15-minute segment about every 2 weeks. And she's based, I think, out in the Bay Area of California. And she's a Vedic astrologer. And again, I think in terms of listening to her over the years, I think she's right on target as well. And it's interesting looking at Pam Gregory and Ananda Shri side by side and seeing how much they complement each other. Because I mean, it's like with any astrologist, Western or Vedic, there are some that, I might come across and then discard straight away because it's like, uh-oh. But I think with Pam Gregory and Ananda Shri, they're incredibly insightful and very skillful in terms of what they do, astrologically speaking. So.
Yeah.
Actually, Pam Gregory has a couple of books if you wanted to look out for them. So I think you'd probably have to buy them. I don't think they're in libraries, at least in this country, but.
Well, she was sure likable and so clear, as everybody was saying.
Yeah, I think she's brilliant. So.
Mm-hmm. Clyde, why don't you start recording and put up the area symbol? I know that there's some people who said they were still coming that aren't here, so do that much to start with, area symbol. Oh, there's Janet.
Hi, Jaentra. How do you know that cough was mine?
I don't know. Maybe I know you. Up.
Your speaker was on.
Yeah. Now that symbol, the Aria symbol, some of you may not have seen it before because it's a few years old. But if you've got right now, if you tune into your body and you've got some achy spots in your body, you know, it doesn't have to be outright pain, but maybe discomfort. All you do is kind of draw that on there, and it will make your core body start to heal that part of your body or release that part of your body. Gosh, and I use that a lot, you know, especially when I'm going to bed and I lay in bed and I kind of do a little inventory. And if there's some tightness in my face, I'll draw that over it, or I'll, you know, wherever there's a little icky. So I wanted to have Clyde show that to you. So while we're still kind of waiting for, I don't know, you can see that that was an old Marielle symbol from Ethel Lombardi, the woman who taught me, you know, that healing can happen in the twinkling of an eye. So she created that from the mother of God kind of energy. So it's a very feminine energy. Thanks, Clyde, for showing it to everybody.
Yep.
Okay. What time is it getting to be?
7:07.
Okay, I'm gonna start. That's what I'm gonna do. I asked you to find a large container of water. We are not gonna directly use the container of water during our ritual and portal sale tonight, but that water, just to remind you, is consciousness. It has a memory, like Emoto taught us, and the water is going to be connected through the planets and our partnership, all the relatives that are working with us tonight, to all the waters on the planet. We are wanting the consciousness and the new energies to be consumed by everyone when they drink from their tap tomorrow. And for us, what you can do to create, you can save it for if you need a pick-me-up to drink more of it, but I've got a gallon in there, and I'm just gonna, you know, revive my body's connection to the new energies and the wonderful things that are possible, and wonderful things that I can't even imagine. So that's what we're using the water for. So the water is I don't know that I'd call it a life form, but it's certainly alive on our planet. So we're going to do that. The idea of the ritual and all the things you might smell or eat or have with you is that these changes I want to make sure we understand are going to go into our physical bodies, into this third dimension, into where all this pain and suffering has been. You know, that I think it was O.P. Kretzmann, the president of Valparaiso University, who wrote a book called Hosanna in the Whirlwind. And he said, the Christian pilgrim on his way to heaven lives his heaven here. And boy, did that stick with me. As you can tell, I'm still quoting it. And that's the idea, is we're not going to wait to get to heaven. We are going to change things that are screwed up here, you know, and of course, the most important part of us, the most important object we own, belong to us, is our physical body. And the soul entered our physical body, it was not last summer, but the summer before. So I feel this wonderful connection is going to be more and more conscious, and we'll become more and more aware of it as we go on. The other thing I wanted to say is, you know, Christians talk about the second coming of Christ, and I feel like that has happened already, you know, that Christ energy has become one with each one of us. And we often have all kinds of reasons not to remember that we're partly divine. You know, we have all kinds of reasons to discount our power and our abilities. And there's been a new way of talking about the energies that is our planet wide. I don't want to say our three heart balancing because it's everywhere. But the first heart, the spirit heart, it is the idea that we are the light. There was a light mantra I learned that said, I am the light. And my guidance says, no, let's change that. There's way too much energy about each of us being alone. So the truth is, we are the light. The light is within us. The light moves throughout us. The light surrounds us. The light protects us. We are the light. That's the energy of the third eye, the first heart. The energy of the middle heart, where I think the Christ energy was born in humankind 2,000 years ago when the Christ came and the Buddha came to us, not that far apart, is the golden rule, doing whatever, doing for others what you would like them to do for you, which is a behavioral way of saying love your neighbor as yourself. And then the bottom heart that opened up in 1992 is about forgiving everybody everything. And I was pleased I went to Mankato with Chris, my friend, and there's the monument, the white buffalo there, and it says on the park benches, forgive everybody everything, at the site of the place where 38 Native American men were hung. It was the largest execution in US history, was right there, and happened during the Civil War when Abe Lincoln okayed that. And they were hung for stealing food that the US government had already promised them they could have. And so that whole forgiving everybody everything, I think, is the manifestation, is the action manifestation of the new energies. And I know we've received some frequencies to forgive our mothers in the last 2 months that I have felt really keenly in a really remarkable way. I've been really glad about them. So I wanted to say that much. So I think the Christ energy is a huge part of the partnership that we have. But before we do the portal sale, what I want you to do is take into your own physical body all the partners. And I want us to lay the foundation to expand our consciousness so that we really can feel, not just as an intellectual idea that we're not alone, but we can actually feel and know that we've got other beings who are connected with us. I'm feeling like, we have connected with each other in some ways already just in the conversation, but part of the forgiving everybody everything and doing unto others as you would have others do unto you is a way of acting out kindness. And all of us have received and given kindness to each other in different ways. So what I'd like is if you're willing to take a minute or two and share with other people here in the Zoom call. You can pass if you don't want to, but share a time that you received or you gave unspeakable and wonderful kindness to somebody. So I'll start. I have a friend who I just rekindled the friendship this fall named Kim Huseman, and I was a junior in college. She was a freshman in college, and I was studying in the lounge. And all of a sudden she touched my feet and she started rubbing my feet. And this is not the Jaentra some of you know, or most of you know. I didn't grow up touching anybody in any kind of positive way. And I said to her, "What are you doing?" And in that kind of tone. So she explained that she was just rubbing my feet. And when you rub each other's feet, that you're telling the person that you love them unconditionally. You're telling them that feet are often dirty and they're disgusting and they're the worst part of a person. That's what she said. And she said, how do you feel when I'm touching you? And then I actually took a breath and realized it was wonderful. So when I think about a kind act that probably changed my life in a definite way, I would give Kim the credit for that. So I think that's what I would say. I'm wondering, Clyde, if you can think of something. I thought what we'd do is we'd call on each other so we're not waiting. Do you want to pass or do you have something
I
you want
want
to share?
to pass right now.
Okay. Will you choose somebody else?
Yeah, who do I pick here? How about Marty?
Okay. Yes, when I was in high school, so this would have been my junior year. And for some reason, in that fall of my junior year, I just kind of took big dive downwards. All kinds of things going on in my life and feeling very, very unhappy with myself and who I was. And interestingly enough, there was a teacher at school that I had, and he was not a teacher that I'd ever thought of as being kind of super approachable or super friendly. You know, there were other teachers like that. But he had seen my distress and just gave me time. He would take time in his lunch hour for like a couple of weeks just to sit and listen to what I had to say. And that made a huge difference. It's not like he did anything. I mean, there were, like, it set something else in motion. It was just being listened to, and listened to in terms of what I was feeling so much pain about. And he just listened really, really well. He didn't say very much. But it was great. It kind of diffused a lot of the pain and just gave me space to breathe and begin to take little tiny steps forward. And I'll pass.
Okay. Will you choose somebody else to
Oh.
share?
Okay, Julie.
I'm not sure what to share, so I'm gonna choose Jim and or Karen.
For me, I also was a teacher. I had a sophomore geometry teacher, and up until that time, wasn't much interested in school. And he took an individual, or gave individual attention to all of his students. And for me, it really made a difference and made me, for the first time, really want to learn for myself. And it happened to be geometry.
Are you passing?
Oh, Karen.
Okay. Well, this was a work situation, and I was faced with a really difficult situation at my office where someone was basically trying to get rid of me. And it's like, I was so distraught. I just did not know what to do. And so I had a friend, her name is Barbara. She has since passed, but she was always there for me. And she was she told me about a resource, somebody who she thought could help to kind of clear things energetically. And, and I didn't really know what this was all about, but, I called this person on the phone and it really transformed that situation for me. And so, but what I remember in thinking back, I mean, the whole situation was kind of transformational in many respects, but I have great gratitude to my friend Barbara for being there for me in many instances, including this one where I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn to. Felt like I was really sinking. So I will pass on to Nettie.
Okay. Well, once or twice a week, I visit a woman older than me. She's a Tai Chi buddy, and she's really isolated. And in fact, I visited her this morning. She considers herself a mystic. She is a real wise woman. And just very little money, very few things at all. And so this morning we chat. She loves philosophy, so we talk for a little while. We do some Tai Chi, and I always leave with something, no matter what. And this morning she gave me 2 of the most gorgeous pears I have ever had, and I love pears. And I don't know, it's just very, very touching. So each of those times, and she sent me back also today, sometimes more than anything, a palmaria branch that I stick in water and I'm going to be able to grow. And it just feels kind beyond words. I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
And her name, actually, if I was going to choose a name or change my name, I would have her name, and it's Lily.
Wow.
Okay, so Claudia. Where's Claudia? Oh, there you are.
I'm thinking back to a time when I was 18, turning 19, and in a very confusing time of my life. And I was just on the cusp of discovering more about mysticism and mystery schools and different realities as a young person. And I stumbled into a meeting at the Theosophical Society, not really knowing what I was going to. And this very loving, warm group of elders became fast friends and teachers and guides and mentors and just delightful people for many years in my life. But I just remember their openness to someone who was just a neophyte in every sense of the word, and how much it felt like I was coming home when I met these people. So that original spark of interest has led me down many paths since then.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. How about, is it Heidi? Yeah, put my glasses on. Heidi, yes.
I can't think of an example. I mean, I really have been blessed with a lot of people. But I'm gonna pass.
Okay.
And Marilyn? I'll choose Marilyn.
Okay. I have an example of, I thought, unconditional kindness that happened just today at 4 o'clock. I have been, and it's from my sister. My two boys, I have adult sons and they do not live in town. They live far away. And so it's been kind of a quiet holiday season. And today happens to be my birthday. So I can't have my family around me. And so my sister arranged for my other two siblings and 10 of my nieces and nephews to actually come by and drop off little gifts for me. So I got a poinsettia, cards, a birthday cake, some candy, and I guess another card. And I was just so shocked and so touched. And it just helps that, you know, it really is an act of kindness to be remembered, and for me to remember that even though people are in my presence, they're around and surrounding me with love too. So I was just so appreciative, and I'm kind of still glowing from that tonight. Thank you. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. Let's see, who's Paul?
And mine also comes from high school, but it's really something that happened to somebody else, and then I had kind of a realization about it. But many years ago, a woman who was in my high school who pretty much skipped school most days. She had grown up she was like the youngest of many children in a very wealthy family. By the time she was in high school, her parents pretty much stopped parenting. They just traveled and did whatever they wanted to do. And she was mostly kind of left on her own with older brothers and sisters who didn't really care to parent her either. And when it came time for her senior year, one of our assistant principals, who used to be a coach actually, called her into his office and told her that, you know, she was really close to not graduating. And she kind of shrugged her shoulders. She didn't really care. And she said he looked at her and then he excused himself and he came back and he'd talked to her about how she was really a fine person. And he looked at her schedule and he said, if you attend every single class this senior year and don't skip any, you'll graduate. And I'm going to be at the door of every one of your classes every day at the beginning to make sure you go into the classroom and take your class. And he did that. She said every day, every hour of the day, he was at the door, you know, not pointing her out, but making sure that he observed her going into her class. And that was like one of the first people who cared enough about her. And when she told me the story, I realized I was really in an environment in high school where people cared about us. Administration, teachers, coaches. And I didn't think about it at the time, but when I think back now, that was really impactful. How much people, my teachers, my coaches cared about me and made sure that I was, I don't know, whatever, on the right road or, you know, being okay, really. So it's kind of astounding to me when I think back on it. Janet, I don't think you've gone yet.
There. Now I'm unmuted. So luckily I had plenty of time to think. Thank you all. I think when I was 18 or 19, I had made friends when I was 17 who were they were identical twins. Really, they were very good friends. And they belonged to a very big family. They had 8 kids in their family. And every once in a while, they'd invite me up to the cabin. Like they had the family had a few tiny little cabins on one property. And I always wanted to be part of feel more belonging in my family. And they really gave me that. Like I felt when I went there, I loved going. And when I went there, I was reflecting upon it actually this week. I didn't really know why I liked it. I just liked it. I was 18 or 19. I wasn't really reflective about it. But reflecting back, I realized I felt a part of a bigger group. And I was like, well, what was it about it that was so special? I was trying to figure out what was about it. And in this family, they didn't have just one set of identical twins. They had 2 sets of identical twins. And my friend's brothers were about 10 years older. So the kids they were born over 20 years. So it was a big kind of very large group that was all ages. And those boys, they were, well, when I was 18, they were probably 28 then. They were just they were fun, and they just had no judgment. Like, they didn't judge people. They just and they had a very ease of enjoying everybody. And so, and we'd play the, that Pictionary game, and they were horrible drawers. And I'd never seen this before, but they would make fun of themselves, like, everybody was part of the game to see how badly they would, that's a frog, or whatever. And somehow they made it so that it wasn't individual attention, but it was belonging. I belonged to the bigger group, and there was something about how they did it that was really special and meaningful to me.
Great.
So, Lise, is that how you say your name?
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
That's Anne. So anyway, it's another name of mine. Well, when I think back, there have been several instances of, kindness shown to me, and I just feel very, very lucky and grateful. But I think back at the time when I really panicked was when we had just moved into our house in February, and I gave birth in May to my firstborn son. And that house in the basement, it was built in such a way that the water would, the rainwater would go down the steps and go directly to the bottom step and fill up. But we didn't know that because we had just moved in and we had not experienced any major rainstorms at that time. So when it was in July, I think, when we had just a huge torrential downpour of several hours of rain, and it was just crazy. And it was, the water was coming into the basement. It was terrible, just terrible. And I had my son I had to take care of, and it was nighttime. And my husband had to go stand there by the back door and just scoop the water out, by the bucketful, just trying to stem the tide of water coming in. And then all of a sudden, our neighbor from behind us that we had barely met, and this was like 1 o'clock in the morning, he just showed up and he helped my husband. I think he even brought his own bucket. He just stood there for like an hour, moved the water out of the basement. And I was holding my son, and I really couldn't help too much. But anyway, I just think back of that, and I thought, this is so amazing, that he came out of the blue and just helped us like that. We had I don't think we met him more than one time at that point. So we were really panicking. Both of us were panicking. We didn't want the basement to fill up with water. So anyway, I just remember that still to this day, the sense of panic that I had and my husband had, and how, how this angelic person just came just out of the blue. And he was running the Southdale. He was the chief officer for the Southdale Hospital. So he had a very busy schedule. And I'm sure staying up late, 1 o'clock, and he had to get up in the morning again by 7, whatever. But I was just so appreciative. So I will never forget his kindness. So anyway, that's my story. And I don't know who else would like to go. I don't really. Barbara Brockway? Maybe? Would she like to go next? Barbara Brockway?
Not hearing her.
Okay, so whoever else then. I haven't been keeping track of the names. I don't know who hasn't gone yet. So.
I
Well,
think everyone's gone except for Barbara. You want to go, Clyde? Sorry.
Okay. We moved up to Minnesota when I was in 8th grade. And there was a little theater in the junior high school that I went to. And the guy who was in charge of it, he said, why do, he was looking for different acts and so on to appear on it. And I had my ventriloquist dummy there. And I did a ventriloquism act with it. But I also was able to help out with sound for the variety show too, as well as appearing in the variety show, because I was playing music for different acts and stuff like that. And later on in 9th grade, he invited me back to appear in the variety show again. And by then I was running like lights and a whole bunch of different things in the theater. And then when I was in high school, he did an encore variety show and he invited me back again. But he was the one who had me doing all sorts of audio, video, crazy stuff, lighting and everything. And that's what got me into being more into doing lights and sound and backstage work and technical work. And he really encouraged me to go on with that. So I guess that would be my story.
Great. Well, I'm gonna take this as a close because I knew that all our relatives wanted us to come forward and talk for a while about different kinds of love. And when I'm looking at them from their point of view, from the source's point of view, the insects' point of view, the tree spirits, the animals, there are what, 7 trillion of us on the planet? I keep hearing different numbers. So this group of we human beings, what makes us different than other human beings, I think they wanted to get to know some of us or almost all of us in a personal kind of way, because that whole thing about you are not alone is a personal, there's just going to be a personal shift, a personal connection. It's not just going to be a philosophical belief that we have. And so I'm understanding from them that we're going to feel connected to all the beings and all the relatives in a way we never have. So I want us to start by, if you have, I asked you to bring a favorite stone, and if you would put that somewhere on your lap, from somewhere on your body from the waist down. You can stick it in your sock if you want it on one of your feet, or that this is so that the planets, which are in movement, as we all know today, and actually last week, they were in movement almost every single day. It's like fruit basket upset up there. That the stone that of course is the consciousness of Earth has got a hold of you and is a beginning anchor. And then I want you to know where your 2 quartz crystals are, because we're going to have one in each hand and put a hand on our heart and a hand on our navel once we do the portal sailing. We're not doing that now. But we're going to start with the fungi. And so I want you to find your mushroom. I've got a little drink here that has lion's mane in it I'm going to use. And before I ingest, part of why I'm asking you to ingest that is because of the things I said. This is a physical manifestation of the partnership with you. And I sent out, I think it was a Zoom call we did maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, where we became one with the fungi. And I sent out a link to this wonderful movie about how this is the largest life form on the planet. And it is like the stomach of the planet. It digests things and transforms things. It takes things that are and makes them not just dead, but eats them up and then becomes this beautiful other life-giving force, that looks like some of them look like flowers, some of them they're just gorgeous. And of course, I think the fungus are the newest life form that we humans have kind of gotten aware of. I think we barely know all the wonderful things that they heal and the medicines they give and the uses and properties they have. And if you don't have, I think Clyde sent that movie out to all of you. If you don't have it, you can email him back and ask for the link. So what I want you to do is remember for a minute that we are the light, and forgive everybody everything, and do unto others, and suggest that this is the consciousness that we have to offer the fungi, our partners. And we are open to the tremendous amount of love and knowledge that the fungi could offer us. I mean, they are all over the planet. They know where all of us are. They can come up with problems and solutions to problems. If we are needing to find somebody to communicate with us, they can do that. And I maybe forgot something. If anybody wants to add to what they know the fungus can do, that would be great for me. But what I want is I'm going to put a hand on my heart, because I found myself, what I want is a heartfelt connection to this life form. I want to enjoy them. I want to feel that I'm being particularly loved by them. Now you can eat your mushroom in whatever form you have, and take some time to enjoy it. I think fungi has been discounted. Most people don't think about them as at all. And I think they support our very life. Now I'm guided to have us go to the honey. You got a little bit of honey there? And of course they come from bees, as you know. And probably you know that honey is a antiviral, antibacterial. It's a homeopathic healer. It's the perfect food. It never gets old. I mean, it doesn't decay. You can heat it up if it gets hard. But honey comes from the insects, the honeybees and the bees, and those pollinate our flowers. So some people think that honey is the perfect male-female balance of energy there because of the flower and how they're taken in. The thing I know about bugs is that they travel interdimensionally. They go from dimension to dimension. You know how in the middle of winter, all of a sudden you can have a housefly, in your kitchen, and you think, it's cold outside. How did that thing get here? And I begin to treat those bugs like they're communicating and sending messages about to other. They're connecting us. How are we doing? They find out. So I usually end up talking to them. And can't remember what movie I saw. Even honeybees can end up almost falling in love with people who care for them. It's a movie where somebody died who was caring for bees, and the bees just landed on top of his body and sat there for a while like they were hugging him. So I don't know how I'd feel about a bunch of bees laying on me. However, I would like to have their their knowledge, their connection, their knowledge of how to go through other portals and dimensions. And I'm open to what they can teach me. So if you are that way, let's take a lick of our honey. Mm. Okay. Now, of course, the nuts are here to connect us with the true spirits, you know, which are the grandparents of the rest of the plants. And I've looked at tree spirits as very close to the Christ energy or God's energy. I mean, the trees give us everything: food, clothing, shelter, oxygen. You know, we couldn't live on the planet without it. And the trees also have a real knowledge of their environment. If something is poisonous or bad going on, then they communicate that through the root system, and then they can create, probably with the help of the fungus, some alternatives to help themselves. So I would like to connect with them in a real way where I connect with their knowledge and where I'm really receive as easily as it is for them to give to me, you know, all the oxygen I need and all the food I need and all the things I need. And I can feel my heart starting to open to that. I'm going to put my hand back on my heart. I'm really grateful for them. So take a moment and eat your nut, eat the nut you brought. Now I'm going to take my money and put my paper money right under my hand that is on my heart. And I've got a quarter here, I think. I'm holding in my other hand. Money is probably one of the most powerful objects we have, because with money we can buy other objects and things we need. And it's one of the most persecuted and abused forms of life. It's not an adamant, it's not breathing, it's not alive in the same way the tree spirits and the fungus are alive, but it's alive because of the consciousness and all the emotions we humans have put into money, you know, where we filled ourselves with anger or fear or all kinds of reasons that money has received a consciousness. And, you know, lots of times money has been controlled by the more evil or selfish beings on our planet that don't think there's enough food, clothing, and shelter for everybody and don't even frankly care. So when we're in partnership with money, the main thing that we want, and I think money wants, is freedom. You know, the freedom to receive, the freedom to move, the freedom to give. And the new energy of money is that love follows money. So we've been working with that for a while. So I feel like holding and cradling money, you know, like comforting it, just as though, you know, it's somebody that still needs watching over. And I pray for money's empowerment and change. So I'm going to just slip this money, paper money, on my skin somewhere, maybe right under my clothes, just to hold on to it for a while. And so that's one of our partnerships. Another one of our partnerships I can't really have you put in your hand or down your throat, and that is the stars in the sky, which is like, of course, the sun. But what's kind of interesting is that we are made of the same thing that the stars are made of, the hydrogen and nitrogen and all those minerals. You know, and I'm not used to thinking of myself as starlight. I was actually watching a Hallmark movie where they were talking about that. And so let's take a minute and think about the stars. You know how the stars we see we're like looking into a time machine. The stars we see are, what are they, millions of years old? You know, and by the time they get to Earth, some of them have died and some of them have not. So I think the stars have a deeply mystical connection to life itself. And if I woke up to that, who knows what I would know and feel and be. And the source, you know, whether you call it the great mystery or God or the creator or the goddess or whatever, how do I bring the source into feeling that the source would care what Jaentra wants or thinks, or what any of us want or think? It's like connected to all of us, you know, and we're humans, we're like one grain of sand on a beach. And what I'm understanding is that anonymity, no, let me not say that right, where we feel anonymous to the source, that is over. That we are going to be partnering with the source. We are going to feel and know that the source thinks we, every one of us, each one of us who are on this Zoom call, and each one of us on the planet matter and is willing to connect with us. You know, God has gotten blamed for all the evil in the world, and maybe God is responsible. I don't know that, but I know that the time of evil is over. And we are not going to change things to the good by ourselves. We're going to partner with everything and everybody in the unseen and the seen world. And one of the ways I think the source does connect with us in a kind of a palatable way is when we focus on people we love who have died. And that's why I asked you to have a picture with you of somebody that you care about. Maybe it's a parent or a lover. I've got my grandmother here. And back to being personal and back to being real, I'd like each of you to just share who is your person or persons that you have a picture of. And you don't have to talk long. I'll start. This is Alice. This is the grandmother that saved my life. She thought I was the most wonderful thing. And she just plain loved me. So I'm going to choose Martin. Martin, who do you have there?
I've got, well, it's me, but it's also my Irish granddad and my mother. It was the last time she and I were visiting her family in Ireland. And the last memory I have, this was 1969, was just sitting with this man who was coming up to like 87. As far as we know, never really had much of an education in Ireland, but there we were sitting watching the NASA space program on TV and having this great conversation. I mean, he picked up the physics without really trying, I guess. We just had this great conversation going back and forth. And what I remember of him was that kind of native intelligence and his sense of humor. I think I inherited that. And for that, I am very happy. I like his sense of humor. It's kind of wicked and cheeky, but it's good.
Mhm. Will you choose somebody else?
Okay, Lise.
I think you mean On. That's her other name.
On, you're on mute.
Sorry. Okay,
There
now
we
I have
go.
it now. Because I have my dog. I didn't want him to bark. You know, he barks a lot. So anyway, here's a picture of my mother-in-law. And here she's holding a basket of Easter eggs that she had just dyed for Easter. But anyway, she was a lovely, lovely person who accepted me, you know, from a foreign culture, didn't speak her language, different religion. She accepted me right off the bat. And I always just felt so loved by her. And I just miss her still to this day. She used to call on Sundays. At that time, we didn't have cell phones, anything. So Sundays would be our call to people living abroad. And she's from Greece. So every Sunday I would wait for her to call. And the first thing she would say to me is, Kuklamu, which means my little doll. So that's Irini. And if I had a girl, I would have named a girl after her, but I have two boys. So anyway, that's my lovely mother-in-law that I love so much. So who else? I can pick somebody now then?
Yes.
Clyde.
Okay, I don't have a picture with me right now, so I think I'll pass and go to Nettie.
Oh, okay. You know, I'm not sure why I chose her, especially, but this, I don't know if it's a small, this woman right here, my mother's mother, she was a pretty stern German woman, actually born in Russia. Immigrated to Germany. You know what I remember about her though? She was the most wonderful baker. And we had great balls, and her house always smelled like a warm hug. And not only that, but she had a giant bosom. And so when she hugged me, it was like being in an immense cloud. Loved it. So, yeah. Janet.
The person I picked was my best friend when I was 16. I don't have a picture of, I couldn't find the box with a picture of her in it, but I will, whatever we do, I will just imagine her. It was just a very close, unusual very deep relationship. And she died when I was about 19. So anyways, I think of her as a young person. How about Julie?
So I changed my, I was going to show you another picture, but this is my friend Sandy. Sandy I met her in college, and she had a huge impact on my life. We were really close friends for 30 years, and she died about, I don't know, 15 years ago. And just this woman was she would make me so laugh so hard, I would pee my pants. She was so freaking funny. And at the same time, we just had some of the deepest conversations. and she always was honest and asked the hard questions of me and of herself. So I really miss her. And I will pick Paul.
Thanks. I don't know if we'll be able to see this. Yeah, there we go. That's my Aunt Phyllis, my father's youngest sister. I think she will have died 3 years ago come February. She had MS for about 45 years of her life. And just an amazing woman in terms of her spirit and how she carried on. But when she went into hospice and she and all of us knew that she was dying, she called all the relatives, all her cousins, and who could make it up down to Iowa to be with her. And we spent a fun couple of days, as much fun as you can have when your aunt is dying. But when it was time to leave, she called each one of us individually into her room and spoke to us about our life and what we meant to her and what she hoped for us. It was really one of the most beautiful dying processes I've ever been involved in. So that's my Aunt Phyllis. And I'll pass to Jim and Karen.
Oops, you need to turn on your audio.
You're on mute again.
Oh, sorry. In the middle is my brother, Tom. For most of our life, we did not get along very well. And I'm real grateful for the last few years of his life that I came to appreciate another side to him. And so I can feel good about our relationship and how it ended up.
And I have kind of a collage here. I don't know what, oh, I'll just show you maybe the top. No, I'll show you the top then the bottom. This is my, a bunch of my father's family. And this is my dad and his brother and his mother and his sister. And then these two women, this on my mother's side is my grandmother and my great-grandmother, I believe. So
Cool.
the past several months, I have been chanting with a Buddhist group. And one of the things that I just come into this feeling of great gratitude for my ancestors and just thinking about all the people who made me come into this life at this point in time. And so I have just felt it's been great thinking about my ancestors, because many of them I don't know very well, but I have been able to feel this great gratitude. And I will pass it on to Marty. You're muted.
Here,
You already did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Claudia, have you done it?
She is not.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. My picture is of my friend Connie, who was someone I met back in high school. She was the mom of my first true love. And I met her again many, many years later when I was living up in the Twin Cities and she was living in Boston. And she was a very important healer to me. And she helped me through some hard times and inspired me to train and do other work within my field. And she died in 2013, sadly, a young 80. And she had so much life left to live. And I think of her often. She was very special. Who, Julie, did you go?
Yeah.
You did, and Heidi?
What
Would you
about
like-
Janet?
Yeah.
Janet?
I
Okay,
haven't
Janet.
gotten.
I went.
Oh,
Laura,
I have not.
have you gone?
Oh, Heidi?
I haven't gone yet.
Okay, how about you?
I heard my name called. I actually have two photos because I thought I had to have a paper one, and then when I realized we didn't, because my uncle is the first one I thought of when I thought about it, and
Oh,
that's my uncle Butch. He died 2 months ago. You know, we weren't super close, but him and I had a lot in common. And I think part of the reason we were so close is we both distanced ourselves from the family. And as a result, you know, we did that to each other. But he was a really, really, really good man who had a huge heart and was never judgmental. And he was just always really kind. And then here's a picture of my grandpa, and me, which is my uncle's father. And, you know, I pulled him out because that's the only one I had a paper one of. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, who hasn't gone?
I haven't.
Okay.
I pulled out a picture of my, actually of my mother. It's in a, here we go. And she taught me, one of the things, she passed at 92 about 5 years ago, but I think of her a lot, and she taught me a lot about resilience and also perseverance.
Great. I don't know who else needs to go. Interrupt me now if you've got a picture to share. Part of why I wanted us to share our deceased people because they loved us, you know, I assumed people would pick people that had a special relationship to us. And, you know, when I talked about the source and how grand the source is in terms of its huge, what do you call it? Beingness. There's two forms that the source really wants us to consider, saying that when we're receiving messages from these deceased people, that we are receiving messages from the source. You know, and some of these deceased people have gone forward and incarnated again, but we still receive messages from them because the source knows them and was one with them. And will share with us in a way that we're allowed to, you know, because these people are less vast than the source. We're not blaming them for necessarily all of our hurt and pain. And so getting messages from deceased people is something that we are receiving more and more of. Anthony Bourdain died. I didn't personally know him. He was a chef, a gay man who was on CNN a lot of years. And I find myself when I'm making a recipe, I can hear his voice in my ear telling me to substitute one spice for another or do something. And I've grown to expect that he's going to help me cook. You know, so some of these people who are maybe people you know, or maybe people you don't know, there's a wide bunch of information that they've had because of their life experiences. And you could ask and expect to tune into some of that knowledge. I'm encouraging you to do that. The other life form that the source wants us to consider as communication from the source are our animals. the cats and dogs in particular, since most of those we live with if we can. They are kind of the opposite of us. They've got the whole will where they feel things and they live in the now. They teach us how to do that. And that's the best way to come against, all the evil and strife in our world. And they are intensely emotional and intensely loving. So that's why I want you to take a moment and think about your animals and how you feel about the animals and how much love there is for you from those animals, and imagine that the source might love you that much too. So now I'm ready for our portal sale. You are going to take quartz crystal in each hand and put it on your heart and on your navel. And I would invite you to set a strong intent to release the past, just like the planets are releasing everything Piscean, along with the suffering and sacrifice that is part of the Piscean way. If you love me, you'll die for me kind of thing. And jump all the way with both feet into the Aquarian way, which is we are one. And we are one. And I, with my particular individual Jaentra Green Gardener-ness, I'm one with all those beings and with all of you. So take a deep breath and go into your heart. And then Clyde's going to play the portal sailing CD, and we are going to travel and embrace the new realities all this has to offer.
Resurrection. Loving presence. Healing bug diseases. Gemstone healing. Disease erase. Maypoles, collars. Super strength. Instant healing. Addictions. Senses come alive. Integrity. Remote healing. Tetrahedron instant healing. Hexahedron instant healing. Octahedron instant healing. Icosahedron instant healing. Miracles. Repair, restore the body. Healing plant diseases. New DNA vitality. Acupuncture. Foot reflexology. Cancer remove, new roots. Detox,
purification of the body. Emerald green healing. Object alchemy. Brokenness unbreakable. Tree spirits. Bugs. Animal oneness. Earth. Angels. Planets. Gravity stars. Immortal beings. Material things. Santa Claus. Disney. Harmonies of being. War and sports. Prayer. Channel source. Forgiveness. Faith moves mountains. Om. Mandala. Religion. Kabbalah. God. Goddess. Bodhisattva. Nirvana. Science. Shopping and collecting. Feng Shui. Well of knowledge. Omen. Indigo awareness. Memory. Genius. Telekinesis. Parallel worlds. Wings of freedom. Plant empathy. Blue world. Invisibility. Particle reading. Bilocation. World travel. Astral sight. Alchemy. Shaman's drum. Emotions. Spectrum. Electric magnetic. Blessings. My God, my life. frequency, vibration, sound, computer grace, atomic particle highways, water, affect the weather, pain, crucifixion, Ayers Rock, Uluru, 3 heart balancing, air, fire, dance of the things, recycle, invention, love pool, bliss, beauty, absolute love, heart of hearts, time, music, dreaming, ho'oponopono, death, being in the body, dance, birth, quickening, objects homecoming, sexuality, God's gateway, mountain pilgrimage, inorganic compost, pyramid, obelisk, material objects manifest, matter partnership, sustainable resources, organic blessing, technology, oil, money, objects awaken, keepsakes, power objects, sacred sites, objects merge, objects create, transportation, shelters, food, foreign languages, alien realities, avatar, colony mind, seeing with the inner eye, paradox, media, intuition, new paradigm flow, mind power, guidance, foster, mentor, communicate, transmute, embrace, empower, create, consensus, compromise, resolve, competition, privacy, gift giving, family, boundary, bounty, bridge gate, responsibility, truth, hope, mother, father, entitlement, light, dark, cycles, synchronicity, unity, triality, diversity, leadership, play, belong, humor, freedom, trust, intimacy, abundance, justice, mastery over evil, earth, conserve, stop violence, light, light, stop violence, earth, conserve, mastery over evil, justice, abundance, intimacy, trust, freedom, humor, belong, play, leadership, diversity, triality, unity, synchronicity, cycles, light, dark, entitlement, father, mother, hope, truth, responsibility, bridge, gate, bounty, boundary, family, gift giving, privacy, competition, consensus, compromise, resolve, create, embrace, empower, transmute, communicate, guidance, foster, mind power, new paradigm flow, intuition, media, paradox, seeing with the inner eye, colony, mind, avatar, alien realities, foreign languages, shelters, transportation, food, objects, create, objects, merge, sacred sites, power, objects, keepsakes, objects, awaken, money, oil, technology, organic blessing, sustainable resources, matter, partnership, material, objects, manifest, obelisk, pyramid, inorganic, compost, mountain pilgrimage, God's gateway, sexuality, objects, homecoming, quickening, birth, dance, being in the body, death, ho'oponopono, dreaming, music, time, heart of hearts, absolute love, beauty, bliss, love pool, invention, recycle, dance of the things, fire, air, three-heart balancing, airs, rock, uluru, crucifixion, pain, affect the weather, water, atomic particle, highways, computer grace, sound, frequency, vibration, my God, my life, blessing, electric, magnetic, spectrum, emotions, shaman's drum, alchemy, astral sight, world travel, bilocation, particle reading, invisibility, blue world, plant empathy, wings of freedom, parallel worlds, telekinesis, genius, memory, indigo awareness, omen, well of knowledge, feng shui, shopping and collecting, science, nirvana, bodhisattva, goddess, God, Kabbalah, religion, mandala, om, faith moves mountains, forgiveness, channel source, prayer, war and sports, harmonies of being, Disney, Santa Claus, material things, immortal beings, stars, gravity, planets, angels, earth, animal, oneness, bugs, tree spirits, brokenness, unbreakable, object alchemy, emerald green healing, detox, purification of the body, cancer, remove new roots, foot reflexology, acupuncture, new DNA, vitality, healing plant diseases, repair, restore the body, miracles, icosahedron, instant healing, dodecahedron, instant healing, octahedron, instant healing, hexahedron, instant healing, tetrahedron, instant healing, remote healing, integrity, senses come alive, addictions, instant healing, super strength, maypoles, collars, disease erase, gemstone healing, healing bug diseases, loving presence, resurrection. Give me courage for the next step and the next. Give me peace in the middle of a storm. Give me unexpected joy, the strength to see it through, and a heart wide open to all the love surrounding me, surrounding me. So in this new world of oneness, where our individualness is embraced and loved unconditionally by us, by the source, by the tree spirits, the fungi, by money, by the animals, by anything I've forgotten, I feel grateful. And so I think I would love to hear your individual responses, but I'm also would love for you to feel and do what's right for you right this moment. I really am, our ritual for me is complete. I'm not going to lead you through anything else, I don't think. How are you feeling and what are you aware of? Just be aware.
I appreciate once again being able to portal sail. The intention to release the past was really powerful for me. And I do feel grateful. Thank you. I'm going to have to take off and say goodbye. It's been wonderful, everyone. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Paul.
Bye, Paul.
Jaentra, this is Marilyn. I too appreciate the portal sailing. It's been a while since I've done that with you, and I just really appreciate that flow. I do feel like what's unneeded is leaving, and I feel more free and yet grounded and more hopeful, like for what's to come. Anticipation.
Yay.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
This is Julie. That was a delightful ritual and a wonderful way to welcome in this new time, these new times, and let go of what's been holding us back. So thank you so much, Jaentra.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
I loved it, Jaentra. This is Janet. It was wonderful. I love connecting with the bees and the fungi.
Mm.
And I don't have a pet, but I had my best friend send me a picture of her dog.
Right.
He was very sweet to do all of it, and I feel like I got a lot of healing out of it, out of doing it. Lots of healing, and my charger doesn't really seem to be charging. So at any moment, my screen will go black. I just changed chargers, hoping that it might hang out for till we all say goodbye. But
I feel peaceful and grateful and feel the connection to all the many kingdoms that we talked to and acknowledged tonight. I feel like I'll do a little more work with the loosening up of letting go of the past that got started in this process. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to portal sail again. Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome.
I feel very relaxed. It's been a long time since I've been this relaxed, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm really delighted to have a ritual, just to have a ritual for this movement. I mean, reading about it, hearing about it has been very exciting, but actually beginning to move, I guess, in it, I'll say move in it through ritual is what makes it real. And so there is that sense, yes, the past can begin to disappear, the future is being born. And that's what I like about this ritual. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that.
Felt a lot of healing energy pass through. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm grateful too.
Well, I love you, Jaentra. I love that you do this for us. And it felt to me like moving out of the dark into the light. That's my awareness.
Yes.
I'm really grateful to be part of the circle tonight. And I feel like I'm ready. I just feel like I'm ready for whatever's next. And, you know, at Halloween, you know, when the veils were really thin, I felt like at that time I made a vow to be here, to be here, to do whatever I needed to do whatever I needed to do, whatever I was called to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now, this is yet another piece that came together with a deeper letting go of the old, what is no longer serving me, and stepping into whatever is next. And I'm
here.
Thank you.
I just feel very relaxed. I just want to sit in this energy for a little bit more, but I felt something like opening up or being unzipped That's the best way I can describe it, is to be unzipped. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much, Jaentra.
My pleasure. I feel like you all are my spiritual family, part of my spiritual family. And I'm grateful. And if you get as you get messages from the source through your own feelings, through the deceased people you know or don't know, through the animals, and you feel like sharing them with me, I'd love to know. Just encouraging you. Well, I feel like let's say goodbye to each other in this form. And, for all the joys we can manifest between now and the next time I see you. Hooray.
Bye, everyone.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hi, Jaentra, I love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
Jaentra.
Bye.
Bye, Clyde.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jaentra.
Mwah. Bye-bye.
Bye. Till next time.
Yep.
Yep, they go.